Hey, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Extra Feature Interview. Today I have a fabulous guest whose film Cheeter Cheeter I don't think is available for wide, but he will tell us later. Kary is here. I almost called you Del Curry. I don't know, watching
That's
too much basketball. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So let's start with an easy question. Why Seattle?
Well, actually, the book was based in Vermont, I believe, and I knew that we couldn't go there and film. So I asked the author when I was writing the screenplay if I could switch it to where I live. I'm actually in Yakima, Washington, which is just about 2.5 hours away from Seattle. And he said yes. And so we switched it around there just so we could be in familiar territory. Plus, we wanted to kind of promote Yakima a little bit.
Okay, let's stay there for a second. First of all, I didn't know this was based in a book. Did I miss that at the beginning? You might have said it and I just wasn't paying attention.
It is based off the book by the author's name is Scott Donnelly, and he wrote the book, I believe in 2020. I can't remember the exact date when it came out. And I had put a post up on my Facebook page asking if anybody had any story ideas or anything like that that they might want to come and join me in. Da, 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 da. He sent me a message on Facebook and said he had written this book, and he said it always seemed to him that it would make a good movie. It was
Oh.
more it read more like a script than a novel. And so I said, yeah, send it to me. I'd like to read it, give it a shot. And I read it and I couldn't put it down. I read it in the first night. And so that's how it originally came to be.
Fascinating.
Mhm.
So I got to go back a bit further. So you've always been a movie maker, a filmmaker then, or is this your first film?
No, I actually started back in 96. My first movie was called Video Psycho. Um, and it was shot like on a full-sized video camera, VHS video camera. And I got in contact with an independent film company in New Jersey, and they were interested in releasing it, and they did back in 97. It came out just on VHS, and it sold fairly well. Um, and then the distribution license ran out on it. I think it was 10 years it was with them. And then I got contacted by another independent film company, SRS Cinema, and they asked if I was the director of that movie, and I said yes. And they asked if I had distribution, and I said no. And they said they'd be interested in re-releasing it on Blu-ray for the first time. And so I did that. That was in 21, and it sold fairly well, and da 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 da. And that's when I put the post up about uh, anybody looking for wanting to contribute or maybe co-write, co-author, anything like that about another horror movie. That's how Cheeter Cheeter came about. And we actually started filming this in 2022, and now it's out on Blu-ray right now through SRS,
Okay,
and it's going to hit streaming on Tubi and Amazon Prime here next month. Early February 10th and 11th, I think, are the release dates for it.
perfect. Okay, so let's go back to Yakima.
Okay.
I so you're saying it's a suburb of Seattle, so it's part of the bigger Seattle area then?
Yeah, see, so the main character in the film, Joseph, he's a troubled teen, does bad things, and he leaves Yakima to try to better himself, to get away from all the hubbub that he's gotten himself into in Yakima. So he goes away to Seattle to kind of rebuild his life. And then he comes back to Yakima 5 years later to see his parents, and shenanigans start happening when he comes back.
Okay, so you have your book, you've read the book. Did you have problems pulling things out from the book that would be different for the film? What did you have to change?
Yeah, so The book, the ending of the book is completely different from the film. Um, Mainly because of logistics and money. We couldn't really
Right.
pull off the ending that's written in the book, which would have been really, really cool. But we came up with a different ending and ran it by the author to see if he was okay with it, and he was, and he actually liked our ending because it does leave it open for a sequel.
It does. It does. Okay. I'm going to start off with your opening shot. It looks like a Halloween shot.
Mhm.
Like, is this really Halloween? Are you guerrilla shooting or did you plan on that shot?
We filmed um, actually during the fall, so it was around Halloween time when we actually filmed. There's actually some scenes in there that are real, filmed here in Yakima, of people trick-or-treating out on the
That's
street.
what I was, yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay. And now there's a house with a bunch of decorations. I mean, this person's gone all out. Was that you guys or is that an actual house you just found?
that was us. That was us decorating it up. That's actually my niece's house in the movie. And we dolled it all up. That was actually before Halloween, so it was kind of odd, but we did all that.
Oh, so you had this house just set up for the shot then,
Mhm.
but you showed the trick-or-treaters. So you've just meshed them together then, those two
Correct.
shots.
Correct.
Okay. No, okay. I always like to ask this
Tricky,
question.
tricky editing.
So, what did people think of it? Like her neighbors and stuff, and the whole house is just
Well, actually, the story called for it to be kind of a bigger farmhouse out almost in the middle of nowhere, which her house is. She's kind of out in a secluded area, so it was actually perfect. And just thankful that she gave us the okay to use it.
okay. I want to do something. Say, I do want to go to the store, but I want to go there second.
Okay.
Okay, the first house, is this the one you're talking about? The first house we really see, it looks like it's a farm. It looks like there's a farm beside it.
hmm it basically is. It's
Okay.
out in the middle of nowhere, basically.
And then I think,
There was actually no neighbors very close to her house. We filmed slightly off of her property, and we were around a few people that didn't really like us being there, but we did it very quickly and got out of there.
I think you go to a second house.
There's another house in it that is the characters of Shane and Amber, their house,
Yes, yes. Okay,
and
whose house is that?
that is actually mine.
Okay. And then I think we have a third house that you shoot at.
Well, in all actuality, it's supposed to be just two. Uh,
Right.
and we we were filming in three locations for one house. We filmed
Okay.
at the house that is shown in the movie, the exterior of it. The interiors were filmed in a different house, and
Okay.
then some of the scenes that were supposed to be in the house were actually filmed in our studio.
Hold on. You actually filmed in a studio?
Yes,
Okay, I can't tell the difference then. I'll give you full
that's
credit. Did not
perfect.
notice. I did not. I don't have studio anywhere in my notes. You're rocking.
Cool.
Now, I want to go back to the store because
Okay,
this thing is insane. What is this place and
that
what is it really is?
it's an actual store. It's actually called Come Again Thrift. It's here in Natchez, Washington, which is right by Yakima. And we were just looking for a location that looked like a kind of like a thrift store that you would find in a smaller town, and they fit the bill perfectly. And so we just went and asked if we could use their location, and they were more than happy to let us because they're a movie filming in their store.
Oh, I
They were
want to go back to this store. You can't tell me you didn't buy anything in this store. Like this thing has everything. It had a crock pot, toasters. I wanted more shots of this store just because I was fascinated by what's in it.
their store is really actually amazing. You could probably find anything you wanted in there. It, we actually all did buy a few things in there. We were
Okay.
there. But yeah, they were very nice, and it was a perfect location for what we were looking for. And I was very happy they were
There
obliged to
is a
let.
minor point in the film, and I'm just being nitpicky here, so
Huh?
somebody breaks a coffee pot, and they
Hmm.
go to the store to buy a coffee pot, and they say they don't have one.
Uh-huh.
And it's a continuing running joke. And I'm sitting there going, this store must have a coffee pot. You cannot convince me they
And
do not have one.
in all actuality, they did have coffee pots in that store.
Okay.
But for the story, we had to say they didn't.
I understood why you did, but I was going to bust you. I'm like, I know they have a coffee pot in here.
And
They
they
may
did.
not
Yes,
be
I
able to
remember it.
find it, but
Yeah,
they
that's
have
true.
one.
There you go. That's true. Like I said, it's a thrift store, so it's very search through the gold mine. They can
Oh
find
yeah,
anything there.
I would love to go into the store. I really think it would just be an actual fun place to visit.
It's cool. They're very cool. It's a nice store too, actually.
Okay, we get introduced to the pumpkin head mask early.
Mhm.
Now, and if you're watching this video on YouTube, you can see it. If not, I'm going to tell you guys here, it's behind him. So go to YouTube after you listen to this interview and watch it again. You get to see it. Where did you come across this? Was it in the book? Was it
Um,
described as that, or was it something
well, yeah,
you bought?
in the book, it was described as a tattered pumpkin mask. That's all it was described as. So then I went searching online for a mask that I thought would look good. And we found him actually in China. It was
Oh,
China. And I got two of them. I ordered two of them just so we'd have two. And now they're no longer, I can't find them anywhere anymore. So
oh.
kind of kind of unique. I have one and I gave the author of the book one, so he has one.
So they both made it through shooting then, obviously.
They did. They got a little bit tattered, but
That's what I
they
was
survived.
wondering. Was it easier for your actor to see through the mask, or were there issues with that
Very,
concept?
no, very diff it's a very difficult mask to see through. It's got mesh through the eyes, but it's not good. It's very hot and it's big. It's actually big. So when the actors had it on, because there was actually more than one person that played.
I was going to get there, but thank you for beating me to it.
But yeah, that we had to like clip it in the back just so it could stay on. And during some of the scenes, it would move around. We'd have to reshoot again because the mask was falling off.
So, as a director, how do you judge your actor? Because if they can't see well and they have to do movements, obviously basic movements of some kind to, I guess these ways, but to take people out,
Hmm.
they have to do a certain movement. How do you direct your actor when they can't see to do that?
It was difficult. We'd run through it, rehearse it without the mask so they could get the motion and kind of the steps, the spots where they had to land. And trial and error a lot of the time too, and reshoots because it really was. It was almost like you were blind when you had that mask on. And but I will give credit to the ones that wore it. They were excited about the whole prospect of being dressed as the killer. So they gave it their all and they took the direction of motion and sound from me very well.
Okay, good. So let's go back. You've directed, this is your second film, you've told us. How different did you find it directing a second film from your first one? I mean, you're using totally different equipment.
Correct.
You're looking at 20 years later. I mean, it's a lot of change.
Yeah, this is actually my third film.
Oh, I apologize. Okay.
Um,
What was your
so I had
second film then?
so Video Psycho was the first one. The second one I did, it was kind of like a horror, kind of anthology. I don't know if you're familiar with like the old movie Faces of Death.
Yes.
Okay, so like where they actually caught murders or crimes or something on video. This second movie was called Snuff Perversions: Bizarre Cases of Death,
I love the title.
and I had a segment in it called The Video Psycho, which was kind of a take on Video Psycho. And I haven't even seen that in 25 years probably. So I don't even know where it is or if it's out there anywhere. And then when we went to Cheeter, we actually started filming Cheater on an iPhone. We were using an iPhone 12 Pro Max,
Wow.
and it was just going to be a little project. We thought maybe we'd put it up on YouTube or something. And then I was looking to cast the roles of Logan Wist and Frank Kearns. And I was holding auditions, and I met the two actors that eventually came into those roles, Josh Hodgins and Andy. Mm, oh my Lord, I'm forgetting Andy's last name right at the moment. Mendoza.
There you go. We've all had those
And
moments.
yeah. And so then Josh had actually worked in Hollywood for 20 some odd years. He has directed quite a few movies, uh, and actually worked on other movies as producer and other titles. And he asked me what we were filming, what we were going to be filming it with. I told him the iPhone, and he told me, he goes, "Oh, that's, it's good. It's good picture and stuff. It won't be cinematic quality, but it'll give a good picture." And I said, "Yeah, I can't afford those types of cameras, don't have access to them or anything like that." And then that's when he told me that he had those cameras, and he actually ran a production company here in Yakima that I didn't even know about. And he invited me to the studio and to see the equipment and see if I was interested in using that equipment. And of course, I said yes. I said, "But we've already been filming for almost 2 months. Will that footage that we have, match up?" And he was just like, "It won't match up, and so you'd have to start all over again." And I said, "Well, I'd have to talk to the actors, see if they're okay with that." And then, so once I talked to everybody and told them that we were going to be using this Aria Alexa camera, he had lights, he had actual hands to help out, he had a director of photography we could use, and they all jumped on board, of course, and said, "Yes, definitely, let's start over." And so then that's what we did. So
Wow.
actually, we started filming, we were filming for 2 months and then scrapped everything. All that footage is available on the Blu-ray as special features, though, so it's out there. Um, but yeah, and then it was a big, huge jump. I had never even seen an REA Alexa camera in person, and the different lenses and how they did the lighting. And my director of photography, his name's Scott Armstrong. He's he's worked in that type of field for many, many years, and so he knew so much. He knew more, of course, than I did. He would ask me questions and I didn't even have the answers to it because I didn't know. But I've learned a lot on that set. But yeah, it was like day and night. We actually ran the set. Not that it's not a real movie, but as a real Hollywood movie, we were on schedule. We had this, that, and the other. And so it was a whole different ball game from what we did with friends and family with Video Psycho on a little camcorder to Cheater on this huge camera and equipment and crew. It was really awesome. It was cool.
Yeah, back to the film. I want to go. Was you had a scene with some Chinese food, an actual
Uh-huh.
Chinese takeout scene. It comes up. How was the food?
Cold.
Cold?
It was from Safeway, and
Really?
yes.
That actually didn't look like bad food to me. It looked like real Chinese food.
Well, we actually just went to Safeway, bought their food there, kept it in the containers, and when you shoot over and over again and reshoot,
Yeah.
we'd throw it in the microwave to heat it up somewhat, but it was not good and it was cold.
Wow.
I think I'm the
You
only one that, no, because I actually am in that scene, and
you are.
I think there's only two of us that actually even actually put anything in their mouth.
See, these are the fun questions I get to ask. How's acting and directing at the same time for you?
Well, I don't know actually, because that scene was actually directed by Josh. I let
Oh,
him go ahead and direct that since he's had plenty more experience under his belt than I did. I felt confident because I asked myself the same question. How do I direct myself in a scene? I have not ever done something like that. And he said that he would do it. He would give direction if I trusted him to do it. And I said, "Sure." because interesting fact, I was not supposed to be in that scene. We actually had another actor cast for that got sick and couldn't make it. And another actor in that scene was coming from Seattle, and we didn't want to have her come back again. And so I jumped in it.
Interesting. See, these are the stories I'm looking for. This is your third time, I guess, working with blood, from what I'm understanding from the other two films. Was it
Yes.
different this time? Could you control things differently, or with the different cameras, you found you could do more?
Well, we actually had a special effects uh, gal that did the special effects. So she mixed up the blood. She had the pumps and the tubings and all that, and she did all of that. I was amazed at some of the stuff that she did with basically no budget. Um, there's a few scenes that I won't get into. You got to watch it to see
I
some
know
of her
what scenes you're
stuff,
talking about.
but she was amazing. Her name's Haley, and she's also plays the newscaster in the movie.
Oh, okay. I know exactly what you're talking about. She's actually in it a lot, people, like a lot.
She's awesome, and um, you know, when you write and dream up some of these scenes, how they're going to go off and stuff, and you just don't know how you're going to pull it off, and then she came in and she was just like, well, we could use this, and I could do this and this and that, and I was just like, I never even thought of something like that, and so I give huge props to all the crew that was on this because they came on board meeting them for the first time and they were all very gung-ho and happy to be there and doing it, and they gave 100% and more than I even imagined it could be.
So let's go back. You read the book.
Mhm.
You loved the book you read one night, obviously. Did you bookmark scenes you were going to use and stuff ahead of time, or did you have to, how many times did you have to reread it to pull out what you wanted?
I actually, after the first night when I read it and I got back to Scott and told him that I really, really liked it, is it okay if I started to write a screenplay for it based off that? And he said yes. There were scenes, the ending scene, which I don't really talk too much about yet, and some of the death scenes, um, which who do I want to give away? The one that shows the most in there is
Don't
the
give anything away. Let
the,
them watch it.
the guy. Yeah, well, it's in the trailer, so you see the guy get
Oh,
thrown into that shelving and
yes.
and falls and stuff like that. That was a scene that I was just like, I like that because I wanted it to. It's my homage to John Carpenter's Halloween, where the killer kind of comes out of the shadow from behind. Um, and I that was the scene that stuck out in my head in the book that I really wanted to do. It wasn't written that way, but I kind of envisioned it that way. Um, the store, I wanted it to be the way he described the store to me. The one that we found fit perfectly, and so I bookmarked that because the store was is kind of prominent in the movie. It shows up quite a few times. Yeah, there was quite a few different scenes that I really wanted. I actually the one I was most excited about was the ending in the original book, which we couldn't pull off. Um, if we could have did that, that was the one I was really wanting, but we had to switch it around. But I still think the new ending is good too.
This may be a shot in the dark. You have a character who wears a SAP shirt the whole movie.
Hmm.
What is there a reason for that, or is it just a shout out?
That
I
was
could not figure that out.
that was supposed to be the name of the store. That's the name of the store in the book, and that was the name of
Oh,
in the script as well. Um, but we actually never really we were going to do a logo somewhere, and we just actually kind of forgot.
oh, okay. Because I was trying to find, is she taking a shot at men? I could not figure out where that shirt was going.
No, it's supposed to be the name of the store.
Uh-huh. See, I've looked for these things. And I'm like, I don't know where this is going. Music. It's here. It's
Mhm.
definitely presented at times. I would even say you give it themes to your characters at times.
Yes.
And I quite like that.
The my composer, Rusty 4G, he was amazing. And he came up with all the soundtrack from scratch. I would give him scenes that we had filmed, and then he would kind of give it a character theme for that one. So it's good that you kind of got that. But yeah, I was blown away by what he came up with as far as the soundtrack goes. I think it's
Okay.
good, intense in parts, and then it's got some lighthearted, music here and there. And then we had a song in there by a band called Plane Car Boat. They're
Ah,
they're based out of Seattle, I believe. Um, and they did the song "Don't Stop" that's played at the beginning of the movie.
okay. This is just a thing. In the book, the shop owner, this is what I wrote down. The shop owner comes off as very harsh throughout the film.
The
And
what?
then the shop owner,
Oh,
he
yes.
comes off harsh. And then he becomes nice. Is that happening in the book, or is that your person just changing his character?
It is in the book. It's almost like you don't know if Logan's good or bad.
That's what I got the whole impression of the movie.
Yeah, it's like he's against certain characters and then others he's almost sympathetic towards.
Yes.
And that's how we wanted him to come off.
Okay.
Because his character, we were hoping that well, not all of them, but certain characters would, you'd want to say, is that the killer? Is he the one that's doing it? No, he's not doing it. Oh, maybe it's this one now.
Okay. I have, there's a certain scene right near the end. The shop owner leaves the store and he doesn't lock the door. He drops his keys and takes off.
Mhm.
Clearly noticeable to me. Now, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Am I supposed to accept that the last scene happens because of that? Or that was just something you missed?
No, it was supposed to be that way.
Okay.
Uh,
You know
he
exactly where I'm going, and I'm being very gentle not to discuss anymore.
Yes. He drops the keys. It was intentional.
Okay.
Um, and yes.
Okay, that's it. That's all I wanted to know. You know where I was going. Perfect.
Yes.
I don't want to go any further with that. I found in the film, maybe this was the kills get longer as the film progresses. At the beginning, I find they're very short, quick cuts.
Hmm.
And was that a definite choice of yours not to let it blow up until the end?
Yeah, I wanted in the book, the death scenes were written very short. We extended the
Oh,
death scenes much longer than what they are in the book. And we actually did change some of the death scenes around from the book. So if you've read the book and you think when you see the movie you know what's going to happen, you should be surprised because we switched them up as far as the death scenes and the ending goes. So the book and the movie are quite different.
okay.
And
We
and we
get,
sorry, go ahead.
go ahead. I was just, go ahead, finish, and then I'll ask my
I
next
was just
question.
going to say and I wanted the death scenes to be um intense, and I wanted them to be almost to where you were like, okay, how many times you got to stab somebody?
Oh, no. I loved it. The police, I love stabs. So what can I say? Big Scream fan here.
And yeah, and that's interesting you say that because I felt the book was originally akin to Scream, the Scream
Oh,
movies.
I would agree with that from nothing against your film. It's what I saw, but I like that kind of stuff.
I
So I
did
was
too.
happy.
Yes, and so I kind of took that too. So it is in the same vein as Scream. I wanted it to be to where there's multiple suspects
Yes.
and
You,
and stuff like that. So it does pay homage to Scream, and like I said, the one little scene with Halloween.
yeah.
So it has some movie throw-ins in there.
Since you told me this was the set, this is my guess where the set shot was, but I didn't have that down. Why a Skid Row poster? Because it's
That
clearly shot, and I want to know why this is here.
yeah, that was actually written in the book, and I just thought that was
Oh,
funny
okay.
to have it in there as an homage to the book. And if you notice it, and a lot of people don't notice a little Easter egg, the original Cheeter Cheeter book with the original cover is sitting on the desk there too.
I didn't see that because I was distracted by what a character says. Van Halen, Hot for the Teacher song. Is that in the book too? Or is that
Yes.
you? Because
So
that
that
made
was
me laugh so hard.
that was not now we did ad lib. There were some ad libs in there from some of the characters that I kept that I thought were great. But no, those were both the Skid Row and the Van Halen references were in the book, and we liked it, and I wanted to keep it in there.
Excellent. Okay, I have three fun questions for you because I know you've listened to an interview, so you know they're coming. First time on the show, your favorite film?
Hmm. Halloween, 78.
Favorite movie snack?
Favorite which one?
Movie snack? What do you eat when you go
Oh,
to the movies?
popcorn. I'm boring.
No,
Popcorn,
there's nothing wrong with
popcorn,
popcorn.
and peanut M&Ms.
That's great. One film you always recommend to people because they've never seen it.
Ooh, that's tough. There's a
I
lot.
know.
Um, well, I would say probably maybe the Scream series. Start off with that, but pretty much everybody's seen that. Um, I would say Halloween actually because the younger generation doesn't know about it.
That's true.
And but now it seems they're always like when I do show people Halloween who have never seen it, they're just like, why are they so stupid? You know he's not dead. But back then, that was
True.
new. That was new.
It,
The killer was new coming back to life all the time.
you're showing it because it's got a great soundtrack.
Excellent.
It's an okay. Before I let you go, please pimp out all your stuff again so they know where to buy it from you.
Okay. Well, right now you can get the limited edition Blu-ray through srscinema.com. The DVD of it of Cheater will be coming out on February 11th, which it'll be available all over Amazon, Walmart. Um,
Walmart.
it'll go through
Oh,
Walmart, Amazon, Fye.
I didn't know
Um,
they still existed.
yeah, so it's coming out all there, and then it's actually going to be coming streaming on Amazon Prime that same day, and then it'll be streaming a day before that on the 10th of February, starting on Tubi. And other than that, I've been a producer on three projects coming up that will be hopefully coming out this year. We did a little short called If We Are Caught, and another full-length film called Long Shot Danny, which is kind of a modern day Western. And we're shooting another movie in April called Incipient, which is going to be even more crazy than Cheater.
Cool.
And it's going to have some really cool
Well,
death
thank you
scenes
for
in
your
it
time
too.
and have a great, sorry, thank you for your time and have a great evening.
Thank you. This was fun.